Marge on the Lam is certainly a very different episode of The Simpsons, as we get to see a very different side of Marge. This is the 6th episode of the 5th season. This was directed by Mark Kirkland, and it aired originally in November 1993. And Marge has decided to spend some time with her next door neighbour. And Ruth Powers is certainly a very influential individual. She's a very different individual to Marge, and it gives Marge an opportunity to let her hair down. Because, well, I won't explain too much about what happens, and I will try not to spoil this with the image thumbnail. Let's hope there are some better images available. But Ruth Powers encourages Marge to get involved in some kind of criminal activity, and I won't say any more than that. I won't say what the crime is, or indeed what the outcome of that is, but it was definitely interesting to see how Marge responded to this kind of situation, because I'd say her response was typical in some ways, but unexpected in others. And we get to see this different side of Marge. This Marge who, for a very short period of time, is not a mother, is not a wife, she doesn't have any restraints. She is just being Marge the person. And it's really interesting. It's also quite nice to spend more time with Ruth Powers as a character and get to know her a little bit more. We do see her from time to time, and it's always really interesting when an episode focuses on a different character. A character that's maybe recurring every now and then, but not that frequently. And I enjoyed the character. I like what she brought out in Marge. I liked how other people reacted to this. It's also kind of a parody of a popular film with these two women. I can't really say more than that without telling you what happens. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it worked very well. It was very effective. I'm pleased it's not the side of Marge we see that often, as I don't think it would work too much. But I liked this side of Marge. I enjoyed seeing how Homer responded to Marge not being around. It gives Homer a chance to realise that maybe he takes Marge a little bit for granted, and the kids as well. And anything that focuses on Marge. I do find that episodes that focus on Marge are all about showing us Marge's worth, and showing us that there is more to Marge than just being a housewife and a mother. And I guess that makes sense, because usually that's how she is viewed. I enjoyed it. Marge on the Lamb's not my favourite episode. I think it's not the most memorable. You know, there are bits in this that I really remember really well, but it's not the episode that I could play in my head all the way through, even though I've seen it several times. Whereas there are some other episodes where I can tell you the key plot points throughout it. It's a good episode. Not my favourite, but definitely very strong, and certainly a very interesting look at a different side of Marge.